Hello, everyone, and welcome to Immigration Live with Lee. I am your host, Attorney Lee Marvin, and today is Monday, June 9th, 2025, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, Detroit time, and I'm here, like I am every week, to answer your questions, to provide context, or to just talk about immigration. There's a lot going on, as always, but since we met last week, there has been some progress in the court system. Might not be progress that a lot of you were hoping for, but there's things moving through the court systems, lawsuits against Trump. There's too many to really keep track of at this point in time. The biggest news piece is related to the travel ban. The travel ban, yet again, the first Trump administration, there was a travel ban, and it was challenged, it was blocked, it was all sorts of things. Well, as of today, there's a new travel ban in place, and I'm going to talk a little bit about that a little bit later when additional people join the program. And I want you to remember to please post your questions in the comment section so that I can answer your questions, whether they're related to the travel ban, the Trump administration, or just general questions about immigration. Please post them and post the questions whenever you have them, and I will get to them as I can. So you don't have to ask to post something. Please, you're freely welcome to post your questions, okay? So when you do join, please tell me where you're joining me from. City, state, country. Just let me know who you are and where you're joining us from. Okay, we've got people on several social media channels. YouTube is the principal. Then we have Facebook and Instagram as well. So if you're joining us from those platforms, welcome. Thank you kindly for joining, and please post your questions, comments, and let me know where you're joining us from. Okay, so a lot of people joining from Instagram already. No questions yet, so I'm probably going to get into the Trump administration travel ban update. Okay, so the travel ban, there's two different parts or two different travel bans. One is an almost complete restriction on people from 12 different countries, and the other is a limited ban for people from 7 different countries. So who are they and what's the difference? Okay, so the 12 countries for the almost complete travel ban: Afghanistan, Burma, Chad, the Republic of Congo, Equatorial Guinea, Eritrea, Haiti, Iran, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, and Yemen. Those are the 12 countries with near complete visa restrictions. So basically, restrictions, the United States immigration system will not be issuing any visas to those countries, and unless you already have legal entry permission, meaning a green card, or you've since become a U.S. citizen from those countries, those individuals can still enter the United States. It's just there's a ban against anyone obtaining visas to enter the United States from those 12 countries, whether it's for green cards, so permanent immigration status, or temporary non-immigration status, which are the tourist visas, the student visas, any other type of visa that's basically all visas, right? Immigrant and non-immigrant visas are people from those countries are not going to be able to get those for the near future. Now, this is being challenged, and it will continue to be challenged. So we will see. It's like all the other fights that are going on right now against the Trump administration. It takes time, and eventually somebody will prevail, whether it's the Trump administration or it's all these interest groups that are trying to challenge this administration. So we shall see. It's never fun to deal with this and to wait to see what happens. but that is our reality. Okay. So the partial bans, the partial list of visa restrictions are for these 7 countries: Burundi, Cuba, Laos, Sierra Leone, Togo, Turkmenistan, and Venezuela. Okay, those are the countries with the partial bans. That means that it's going to be severely limited for people from those countries to get different types of visas. Specifically, the non-immigrant visas are the big deal with these countries. Tourist visas, business visitor visas. So that's the B1, B2 visas, the F and M visas, which are student visas for international students, and the J visas, which are exchange visitor visas. Now, those are the type of non-immigrant visas that are not being processed by the Trump administration. So those are the restrictions. Now, if anyone has questions, I will try to answer them. But honestly, this is such a new thing, and there's so many people that are going to be challenging this. It's going to be hard to know how this is going to play out, which is why we're all patient, and which is why we tune in every Monday to get additional information as it comes out. Okay. Again, a lot going on, not just with the travel ban, but you all have heard about the riots in LA that's been going on for the better part of 3 days. People are really mad. Obviously, it goes without saying, challenging the Trump administration and ICE out there in LA. So there's a lot. The anxiety, the pressure, the stress has ratcheted up because of these initiatives that the Trump administration has unveiled, which is leading to a lot of angry people challenging the ICE and immigration officials. Okay. So let's see here. I told you that as questions come up, I will answer them. And it looks like I have my first question here on Instagram from Zach Ostrom, Realtor. Okay, sorry if I missed this answer. I applied for a K-1 visa for my Venezuelan fiance. We received the NOA 13 months ago. So NOA must be notice of approval. Okay. That's not a question, Zach, but I can guess what you're asking is what is going to be the status of that. My understanding of all this craziness is that whatever was approved before today's date are still in play, right? The administration is not retroactively canceling things like that. It's just anything that happens today or after today, the government's just not going to approve them. If you already got an approval, then my guess is that there's going to be the ability for your fiance to travel, to enter the United States, and to move forward with that green card process. Again, this is hard to know for sure. I'm not the authority. I'm just reporting on the information that I know. I hope for you guys that is what it means, is that approval will be honored and she will be able to enter and you will be able to apply for the green card here in the United States. It's crazy time, so I don't know if that's actually going to happen or not, okay? Okay, so, okay, Zach, I'm seeing this here. Okay, notice of action. I thought it was notice of approval. No approval yet. It's just that they received the case. I hate to be a downer, Zach, but I'm guessing that you're not going to be getting that approval, at least until things end up going to federal court and probably the Supreme Court, like several other matters that are going before. I know that the Venezuelan case did go before the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court allowed Trump to be able to process the basically deportation of the Venezuelans, the cancellation of the program's TPS program. He was allowed to continue with that. So the Supreme Court did not put a stay on that. They allowed it to continue. And I know there's a lot of really angry people about that. So especially with Venezuela, there's a lot more going on than other countries. So hang in there and hope this shakes loose soon. And I imagine your fiance is probably dealing with the embassy in Bogota. That would be the place to ask any questions, because they're the ones on the ground processing a lot of these programs and petitions and visas for people from Venezuela. So maybe check in with them, okay? Okay. Yeah. So if you don't hear soon about any of this stuff, please reach out to me directly, and I'll put the link. At the bottom of your screen, you'll see the web page and a phone number. I'm going to put this link here as well. So anyone throughout this broadcast has questions they want to reach out to me directly, they can use a link instead of dialing a phone number, which is so archaic. So there's the link for you if you need it. Please let me know. Okay, they're in Argentina. Okay, Zach. Again, we can probably talk more directly about this in the future if you want to reach out to me. So thank you for your questions. Let me go over to YouTube here. And I'm going to go ahead and put that link for the folks on YouTube in case you need to reach out to me. Phone number at the bottom of the screen, which is about here, right? And then here is the web address. But there's the link for you guys. Okay, so let me go up here and see what kind of questions we have. Okay. Good day, Mr. Lee Marvin. Good day to you too, Von Carlo. I'm an avid fan of your channel. Thank you kindly. I appreciate that very much. I would like to ask if consular processing is faster than adjustment of status nowadays. You're watching from Canada. So that's a very interesting question. And thank you kindly for the question and for the compliment. I appreciate it. So it tends to be a bit quicker in the United States, and that's in part because there's a lot more field offices that process these requests. Of course, there's a lot of countries that process the consular processing as well, but it typically is quicker in the United States if you have the legal ability to enter the United States and to qualify for adjustment of status, okay? A lot of people can, so it's kind of picking and choosing which venue they're going to be going through. And I do find that adjustment of status is a bit quicker. It's also quicker or seemingly quicker if your loved one is in the United States and you have the ability to stick around with them, even if it isn't technically longer or shorter. It seems like it because you're together, if you get what I'm saying. So if you have more questions, you know how to get in touch with me. I appreciate it. So, okay. Okay, that's for your spouse visa is what you're saying. Yes. So Von Carlo, I'm assuming spouse of a U.S. citizen versus spouse of a legal permanent resident, massive difference, a lot quicker for U.S. citizen. There's virtually no wait time. It's just processing time. So for a legal permanent resident, there are waiting times for the visa to become available. Okay, so that's a big difference. Okay, let's see. Okay. Okay, so looking at these other questions, Emrit Pal says, "Hey, my man, thank you. How are you? I'm doing well. Thank you for asking, and thank you for joining us regularly. I really appreciate it. So, if any questions, please let me know. So, some of the other questions I'm trying to figure out what this question means. This is okay. Let me go over here to Instagram, see what we have. Again, where are you guys joining me tonight from? Where are you joining me from tonight? I know we got a friend joining us from Canada. But who else do we have, and where are you joining? That would be kind of cool to know. But I prefer questions. So either one will work, but please let me know. Okay, so let's see here. Okay. Again, questions on all different computers and phones. So it's sometimes a bit tough. It's like juggling here. Um, so, um, so I had a question earlier that I wanted to get to here. I just got to find it really quickly. So please bear with me here. Okay, where was it? Okay, stand by, stand by. It was. Okay. So this was a question. I want to ask if I petition my husband in the Philippines, when he gets here to the US, does he need another interview? Okay. Um, Assuming he already had an interview in the Philippines. So that was a question from my YouTube channel earlier that I wanted to make sure I answered. Okay. So the answer to that is similar to what I was saying before, which is it depends on the category of the immigrant, whether it's based on the sponsor is a US citizen or legal permanent resident. Okay. It also depends on whether it's a spouse visa, fiance visa, or straight to the green card. Okay. Um, Green card interviews outside the United States, the person enters with a green card. So there's no need to do another interview. Fiance visas are different because a fiance visa interview or a spouse visa interview, they're very similar. They usually just give permission to enter the United States, and then you have to go through the green card process inside the United States. So there is a second interview. So it depends on what sort of process, spouse visa, because we're talking about a husband here, or if it was straight to the green card. Okay. So hopefully that provides information to you guys. If you have more questions, please let me know. Let's see here. Here's a question, very similar. Which is faster in 2025, a K1 visa or a CR1 spouse visa? Okay. That was basically a video that I had done on my YouTube channel that answered that question and talked about a number of different things. So, spoiler alert, I often tell people to go straight to the green card rather than the fiance visa. Why do I say that? Because I like to help people save time and money, even though I'm the one that would be otherwise earning the money. A lot of times I recommend that people, if they have the ability to move straight to the green card, to skip the fiance visa, because fiance visas are a lot more strict. It's a lot more difficult to get a fiance visa these days than it is a straight up green card, and it's a lot cheaper. So that's the answer to that question. Okay. Okay, this is a question that doesn't provide too much information, and since it's not a live participant, I can't ask follow-up questions. So I'm going to go over here to YouTube again to see what kind of questions. Paul from GR. In case you guys don't know what that is, that's Grand Rapids. So Paul, thank you for joining from GR. I applied for a fiance visa. It was received mid-April. Curious, the timeline website says average of 9 months. So Paul, that's probably accurate. I say probably because these days I'm a bit jaded and I don't have a whole lot of faith in the processing time information from USCIS, but that sounds about right. It's important for you to realize that 9 months is probably is the first part of the process. Okay, USCIS always gets the first part of all these immigration processes. They review your petition as a U.S. citizen of your fiance. and they review the relationship. They see if it's bona fide. If they think it is bona fide and they believe that this is a genuine request for a fiancé visa, they approve it, and then they send it to the National Visa Center. So the National Visa Center can basically filter more information, have another application completed. And then when all that's done and the National Visa Center is certain that everything is 100% there, they then send it to the embassy. The National Visa Center part is usually, usually about 1 to 3 months. Okay. And then when it goes to the embassy, it depends what country the embassy is in, because they all have different wait times depending on how backlogged they are. Okay. So 9 months, Paul, very likely is for the first step in the process. And then you've got potentially 3 months after that. And then, it could be 3 to 6 months after that, depending on the embassy. Okay. If you have more questions, I posted a link and you can reach out to me and I can help you figure it out. But that gives you more information. Hopefully it helps you out. Okay. Okay. So, one second. I'm looking up something here. Okay. So this is a question from Kev, it looks like. Kev, welcome to the show. Thank you for joining. You just joined. Okay, that was a few minutes ago. Any update as to the timeline for the I751? Kev, you're joining from YouTube, so you probably watched my video recently. I don't remember when I posted that video or what the processing times are, because processing times for the 751 has everything to do with your local field office. Local meaning basically in your state. Most states only have one, but some states, I believe California has more than one. It depends on your field office. Okay. So it's all over the map. It had been 24 months for a very long time. And you may or may not know, but the 751, for people who don't know what that is, sorry, apologize, that's the removal of conditions. So a conditional green card holder has 2 years in their conditional status. Then they go to USCIS again and they petition to remove the condition, okay, to get their 10-year green card, okay? So what had happened in the past is it was taking so stinking long that the government automatically extended the underlying conditional green card so that people would not be in an out of status, right? Because it was taking a very long time. I think processing times are a bit better. It's definitely longer than you would think. Most people have the ability to, if they're inclined to become a naturalized citizen after 3 years of being married to a U.S. citizen. A lot of my clients have gotten their U.S. naturalization before they get their full 10-year green card. Okay. So it takes a while. So that's a long answer to a very quick question. So hopefully that helps you. Okay. Let's see here. I'm going to look at this. Okay. Oh, yeah. This is a really good question. Okay, this is for Kat. When applying for the K1 visa, fiancé visa, is a 2-year requirement strict? Our last meeting, unfortunately, was 2 years and 2 months ago. We would have filed sooner, but he had military duties to fill in his country. Kat, I'm sorry to tell you, they are dead serious about that 2 years. 2 years and a day, not going to happen. They absolutely will send you a request for evidence or deny your request if it's longer than that 2-year period of time. It's one of those things with the fiancé visa, and they're super strict because historically fiancé visas were abused like crazy. So they absolutely will not create any wiggle room with that. They're super strict, and that was under the Biden administration too. The Trump administration, yeah, they're not going to do that. I would be shocked. I can't say that they're not going to do it, but I would be very shocked if they actually allowed you to move forward. Try it, right? But be prepared for them saying that you're not going to be able to do it because it was longer than 2 years. Okay. Okay. So let's see here. Okay. This is a bit more complicated for the show for tonight. So Salah, I'm gonna ask you to check out the link that I posted so that I can help you more directly, because there's a bunch of information that I would need. You have pending asylum. You won your DV lottery. So you want to apply for 485. Again, talk to me directly, because depending on what is the timing of what's going on will dictate whether you can move forward or you have to wait. So reach out to me. The link that I posted before or at the bottom of your screen is the information for that, okay? So let me know how I can help, okay? Okay. So we've got DZ, aka Danielle Zavala. Thank you for joining, Danielle. Let me see if I can get above your question. It's a long question. I entered the U.S. in 1996 with a border crossing card. I was 4 years old. I was deported in 2010 for a misdemeanor class B, and I chose to go before an immigration judge and was deported to Mexico with a 10-year ban. My dad is now a U.S. resident. Can I file for alien relative petition, or do I have to file a pardon, which is el perdón, which is a waiver? You're 33 and single. Very complicated. Lot depends on a lot. So typically speaking, let me hide this so you can see my body. See, 1 second. Magic. Okay. So Danielle, you will need a waiver. Okay. So 2010. I need more information. I don't want to go off half-cocked and answer that question for you without more information. So use the link that I posted before so I can talk to you. I need more information. I don't want to give you a disservice by just quick launching off an answer. I know you really want one very quickly and easily, but it's better to have the right information than have it quickly here on this live broadcast. Okay. So I'm looking at the next one, my good friend. How are you today, sir? Thank you for joining. Again, let's see. So I'm glad you didn't miss me. I'm glad, and everything is well in my household. Thank you, sir, kindly. Hopefully the same is for you. I know you're in Nashville. I'm just going to go on a limb and say you're in Nashville today. Thank you for joining. As always, it's my pleasure to have you here. So thank you. Okay, 1 second here. Okay, let me, again, just to make it easier for people, I forgot to do the consultation link again for those that really need to talk to me. And so you don't have to search that. There it is for you, okay? I'm going to go here. Okay, King Power, thank you for joining again. You are a regular joiner, supporter. I appreciate it very much. It's my pleasure to answer some of your questions. Yeah, I know last week you had several. So you had an interview last week and was approved. Hallelujah. Congratulations, King Power. Congratulations. I am overjoyed. This is my overjoyed face, in case you're wondering. Fantastic. And I hope that something I contributed helped to that end. I really do. But congratulations to you, and thank you kindly for joining again. That's just great news. So everyone should be very happy for King Power and the approval on the spot last week. That's fantastic. So congratulations. Okay. So, okay, let me go back over to Instagram. Let's see here. And no new questions there. So, wait, I just want to make sure I didn't miss anything. Okay. So, again, post your questions, right? Post your questions. Although, oh man, I just looked at the time. We're out of time. So, Von Carlo, El gusto es mío. Pleasure is mine. Thank you for joining. If you have more questions next Monday, which is a good time to segue to that announcement. And Mr. Grinch, yes, you watch a lot to hear success stories. That's great. I'm always here for you, sir. And we will talk when you need to. I know that we've talked in the past. You've talked in the past with my office. But when you're ready for me to help you, I'd be honored to actually be able to chat with you on the phone or Zoom. So just let me know. I'm here. Okay. So with that, thank you kindly, everyone who's joined. Again, every Monday, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. As you see, there's a lot going on with immigration. Next week, I'm sure I'm going to have some crazy announcements. It doesn't seem like it can get any crazier than riots in the LA area and travel bans. Hopefully things smooth over and things are better in the coming weeks. I'm here to report on this information. I'm not a news reporter. I'm an immigration attorney. I'm here to provide context. And again, please have your questions ready for next week so that I can get to it right away. I'm over now, as I said, so I'm going to sign off. Oh, thank you, Kat. I'm going to post this, okay, because Kat is in Greece. So the time difference is crazy, big difference. But thank you for taking the time. Yeah, thank you kindly. So have a wonderful night, everyone. I'll see you next Monday, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard, Detroit time. I'm here for you. See you next week.